Welcome to Zest Prime. As part of this video, we are going to see another string concept called StringBuffer. So as part of the previous video, we have seen about the string, like what are the string different manipulations, methods, and string constant pool, non-constant pool, and string immutability. So these are the things we have seen in the previous videos. Now we are going to see another type of variable called string buffer. So we are going to see now what is the specialty or difference of the string buffer compared to string, so that we are going to see it now. So let's get started. So as per the previous video, we have already seen string is immutable, right? So these things we have already seen in the previous video. String is immutable in the sense when you are trying to manipulate or modify the string, and it will try to create a new object instead of modifying the existing object. So that's called as immutability. So we cannot modify the string. If you try to modify it, then it will try to create a new object. So that is called immutability. So that we have already seen in the previous video. So now we are going to see string buffer, the new data type called string buffer. It's a kind of like a string, and we can able to work with the multiple characters. So the specialty of a string buffer is mutable, meaning you can able to change or manipulate the string buffer and it won't create a new object. So that is the specialty of the string buffer. So you can modify the a string buffer, meaning you can able to add the another string, or you can able to delete the some of the string, and you can able to insert the some of the string, but it won't create any new object. So that means it will try to use the same existing object, and it will try to append or delete or whatever the operations it will try to do it. So that is second difference. And third one is string is more efficient in manipulation. Just now we discussed, right? So when you are trying to do a string buffer, adding new character or deleting or inserting a new character, so it won't create a new object. It is trying to create the same existing object. So in that case, string buffer is more efficient in case of string manipulation. And the last and fourth one is a string buffer is thread safe, in the sense when you are trying to work with multiple threads on a same string buffer object, so it will work for a thread safe environment, so that your data will not be corrupted. So this is about theoretical part. Let's see an example to understand all these 4 points. Then so how it's different, then we will be understanding it. So let me create a simple um, example called string buffer demo. So string buffer demo, this is the class name I just created, and it's in same package com Zest Prime, and finish it. So let me create main, and then you can press Ctrl space bar. So then you can select the corresponding default main method it will create, and we no need to write it back. So the first point we will just recap: string is immutable. So what it mean? Say for instance, I'm trying to create string s equal to just. So this is one of the string, it got created, and if I want to add another string, what will happen? S equal to s dot or s plus. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm just trying to modify the existing string, and s1 you can say this one, and this is s2. So I'm just trying to modify. So I want to store in a different variable, so that I can see it whether s1 and s2 are pointing to the same object or not. So that's what we are trying to do. So initial s1 is just, and s2 is I'm just trying to modify the s1 and trying to generate a new content. So if you want to know whether these two strings are pointing to the same object or not, you just create s1 double equal to s2. So this double equal to operator, what it will do, it will try to compare the object reference of s1 and s2 is pointing to the same object or not. So that means, so this is s1 and this is s2. This is s1 and this is s2. So both is having different memory location. When we try to use equals to, so it will say false. Why? Because it's having its own memory location, it's having different memory location, both are in a string full, right? So this is the basic difference. So let me run it now and we will see it. So you can see more clearly it's a false. Say for instance, if you want to know exactly memory location where it is storing, so that you can able to understand very easily, system dot identity hash code s1. So what it will do, so it will return a memory location. So it will try to return a memory location of s1 object. Similarly, if you want to retrieve the s2 memory location, so how can you do that one? Just pass the s2 object or any object and try to store in a different object and try to print the s1 and s2. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to retrieve the s1 memory location where it is storing into the heap, and similarly we are trying to retrieve the s2 memory location where it is stored into the heap, and we are trying to print it. S1, and similarly I want to print s2 location. Sorry, let me give the meaningful identification. So I'm just trying to print the s1 memory location and s2 memory location so that we can see really where they are storing. It's the same location or different location. And let me rerun it. Just become here. So s1 storing into 617 something, and s2 or h2 storing into different location. So both are storing in different location. So that's what we are seeing. When we are trying to use equal to operator, it is giving false. So this is called as a string immutability. So this is clear. Okay, now the second point we are going to discuss, string buffer. So string buffer is mutable. So meaning, so when you're trying to create a string buffer, you can manipulate the string and it won't create a new object. So that's what we are trying to understand as the second parameter. String buffer is mutable. So you can change the string buffer, but it won't create a new object. So that's what we are going to see now. First, let me create string buffer as be equal to new string buffer. So this is the string buffer I'm trying to create. So let me pass the object prime. So this is the object I just got created. So now what I want to do, I want to modify the object. So how can I modify? So there are various methods are available, like append, delete, all those things. So that I'm trying to use it. So append, I'm trying to pass the test. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm taking the SB1 existing string buffer object and I'm trying to manipulate, meaning I'm trying to add some of the content so that new content will be generated. Now I want to see whether this SB1 and SB2 is pointing to the same memory location or not. So that means, so that we can able to conclude string is mutable, means you can change it, the existing object. The same object I'm trying to modify it out. So how can you ensure that one? Simply you can use SB1 equal to SB2. If it is returning false, then means it is using different object. If it is returning true, means it's using same memory location. So let me run it. So you can see over here it's returning true. So that means this SB1 and SB2 is pointing to the same location. So in the previous case, what is happening? This SB1 and SB2 is pointing to the same memory location. It's the same memory location. Both the things is pointing to the same memory location. So that means string buffer is mutable. So you can able to change it. Say for instance, if you want to see the object location, so that you can see it very easily, you can use the same object code over here. So you can use here SB1 memory location and remove it SB1. So what are we trying to do here, right? So we are trying to read the SB1 memory location and we are trying to display it. SB1 memory location, print it. And similarly, let me read SB2 memory location and print it. So here SB2 and SB2, SB2. So what we're trying to do over here, so let me comment it out, the previous one, so we don't want to see many console outputs. So this is SB1. So the first, here we are trying to see the memory location of SB1 and we are printing it, right? And second, after modifying the object, we are trying to read the SB2 memory location and we are printing it, right? So now let me run it and we will see the SB1 and SB2 memory location. If you see here, right, SB1 and SB2 is pointing to the same memory location. That's what whenever you are trying to use the equal to operator, it's returning true. So this is append. Similarly, now I want to use a different operator called insert. So what I want to do here, I'm trying to insert a particular test2 string, a particular index called 2, and I am trying to modify it, the string. And finally, let me show you the SB2 also. So here also I'm trying to modify the SB1 object, and let me run it. We can see here, so the prime got modified and test got inserted at the second index, but object locations are same. So finally equal to operator also return true. So that means string buffer is mutable, you can able to change it, right? Now let me try another uh, operator called delete. So here I want to delete 2 to 3. So I'm trying to delete one character from second index only. So let me delete it and we will see the memory location. So you can see over here, so both SB1 and SB2 is pointing to the same memory location, and equals to operator is returning true, and the content also returning finally P or I got removed here. So that means string buffer is mutable. Whenever you are trying to change the string buffer object, it is trying to manipulate to the same existing object and it won't create new object. So that is the specialty of the string buffer compared to string. Okay, now another difference we are going to see is string buffer is like we said, efficient in case of string manipulation. So that we have already seen it, like whenever you are trying to modify the string, keep on based on the requirement, so then string buffer is more efficient because it is not creating new objects, it's trying to use the same existing objects. So that way we can say string buffer is more efficient in case of string manipulation. Okay, so now the last point we will see, string buffer is thread safe, meaning so whenever you are working on multi-threaded environments, so that we are going to see in the next subsequent videos. So when more than one thread is trying to access the string object, so in that case string buffer is more safe because it can able to handle multi-threaded objects, multi-threaded into the single object, so that your data won't be corrupted. So how can you say string buffer is synchronized? Say for instance, two threads are trying to call the delete method on SB1, multiple threads are trying to act it. So how can you say safe? So you can do control press and click on delete method, and you can see this actual delete implementation, how it is got implemented. You can see over here synchronized. So that means you can see in string buffer every method is synchronized. Let me maximize it. String buffer replace synchronized, delete char, synchronized, delete, synchronized, append, synchronized. So that means string buffer is synchronized. So that means whenever you are working a multi-threaded environment, string buffer is safe, so that your data won't be corrupted when multiple threads are trying to attack or replacing or modifying the object. So that is the fourth difference compared to string buffer. So that way we have seen three main features of string buffer. It's immutable and efficient in string manipulation, and last one is thread safe. It's very good to use in case of multi-threaded environment. In case of single threaded environment, you can go for string. So in that case it's better. In case of multi-threaded environment, string buffer is more safe. I think that's all about string buffer we can see in this video. And if you like the video, you can subscribe to the channel for more subsequent updates. And thanks for your time.